Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. So as I record this video update, Bitcoin is dancing still on this crucial 55-week exponential moving average. For me, the most important moving average right now in the market, clearly, because it's been respected for quite some time. Especially here, last few days, clearly touched it perfectly. Again, I can only, you don't have to use the 55-week EMA. I've been using it for a long time, but it's more accurate than some others out there. So feel free to check the Fibonacci related ones, like the 55, like the 89, like the 144. In my opinion, a bit more accurate, at least in certain market conditions, than the standard ones, like the 20, like the 50. So we're using this one just because it had some relevance in the past, in Bitcoin's past. I showed that in the last video on the MCO Global channel. You'll find that channel linked at the end of the video. Feel free to check it out. But so I think it's quite important, given that we're now approaching the weekly candle close. So I think the next 24 to 48 hours could be interesting anyway, also because of the micro patterns that are developing on the Bitcoin chart. In the very short term, the first resistance is between $101,767 and $104,990. But we'll talk about that on the smaller time frame. But that would be our very first resistance area, and the signal line therefore is around 105k, which is the top of the resistance box, but also where we had structural support previously. We now have structural support in the area around $99,200. That's from the Fibonacci level, not the Fibonacci, sorry, from the 55-week EMA, and just below that. And this was, this will be important as we're heading into a new trading week. If the bulls can turn this around and break above 105k, obviously we're not necessarily looking for lower anymore with that much focus, but it would still be important, because just a break above initial resistance is not confirmation that we're in a full breakout to the upside. It will certainly reduce the downside pressure. What I can tell you is that a break above 105k will shift the focus first to the next upside resistance, around 109,400 and 112,400. And to the downside, it's 96,300. There are two levels that meet there. And so it's important now for the bulls to drive the price in the first instance above 105k. It's also important for the bulls to avoid a decisive break below the 55-week EMA. It's like a line in the sand for me. But I also explained that it's not an invalidation point. So a brief break below it, while it might appear short-term bearish, if it's not a sustained break, it is not so important. We don't need to go below it necessarily, but we also don't need to hold it. What is important is that we avoid 2 weekly closes below it, right? So it's an important level, but it's not, don't get me wrong. I find it quite interesting how Bitcoin has been dancing on this 55-week EMA, but I mean, we don't need to hold it necessarily. Like what happened before in this cycle is a brief break and then a recovery. That's fine. It's more an area of interest, okay? Because the bulls and the bears are fighting, it's not like the bulls have to defend it like to the dollar level, right? That's not how it's meant. Now I would say the door is still open for another rally to all-time highs. Remember the government shutdown. It will end. I mean, for sure it will end. I mean, that's a prediction I can make. I just can't tell you if it will be next week or not, but it will end. And then this could be a bullish signal that might trigger at least a counter trend move, maybe the B wave bounce, maybe even the fifth wave to the upside in the white scenario. There is a scenario still for a rally, or that supports a rally to all-time highs. It would be the white count, yes. That would be a possibility, but we need at least some signals, right, on the lower time frame, like for example, a break above 105k. Now let's take a look at the shorter time frame. Here you can see that Bitcoin continues to move in our triangle. It shouldn't be a surprise that we didn't get much movement over the weekend. I explained early yesterday, I think, that this triangle could be playing out, or already on Friday. I think I just hadn't marked it on Friday. But if it's a triangle, it should be more sideways action. Bit more sideways action, lower highs, higher lows, the routine. And that could play out a little bit. There is the yellow scenario in which the movement is a wave 4 triangle. So wave 1 down, wave 2 up, wave 3 down, wave 4 triangle, wave 5 down. And the triangle is A, B, C, D. That D wave might even still be unfolding. Bear in mind, a D wave is also a 3-wave move, A, B, C, but we're now getting really towards very unreliable micro counting. It could literally change at an instant, but that's at least the ideal wave count. And then when the D wave is done, an E wave, lower high, higher lows. And if we then start to see a break below the lows of this week, then this could be the beginning of the 5th wave down, which might take us towards 96,000, $296,300 next, or even a bit lower. I shared that with you on the larger time frame. If we can hold the lows of this week and we start to see some upside momentum and a break above 105K, that opens the door to a move up to round about $109,380 and $112,400 in this larger bounce here in a B wave. That could then, still lead to further downside, but it would not be anymore an impulse to the downside, because any break above 105K would first of all invalidate the triangle. To be fair, the triangle will already be invalidated with a break above the Wednesday high at 104,540. I think if we break above that level, there's a good chance that we get above 105K anyway. And so breaking above it would be important, and then this would invalidate the triangle, but it might be a B wave triangle. I mean, the idea is it's either down in an impulse, but if we don't go down in an impulse, there's still a risk that this is an B wave as a triangle. Should rather be like A, B, then C, and we should not break above 112,400 in this orange count, and we could still go down. So I'm not predicting downside, but I can tell you that since the 6th of October, we've been in a local downtrend. All the movements to the upside ended as 3-wave movements. All of this was corrective. So we need a 5-wave move as a signal that something more meaningfully bullish is playing out. But of course, a first signal for that would be a break above 105K. That should give you all the key levels here to watch for today. And as we're approaching the weekly candle close, remember today we've got our member live session where we cover a lot of different requests, charts, answer questions. That'll be at 5 p.m. UTC. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our Gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area.